Hello, I'm back with some more stuff. I always watch this countdown meter down here, and I kind of messes me up sometimes on when to start talking. But anyway, hi guys, I'm back again this week with more stuff, and I got some records here to show you and whatnot. And the first record, I don't have an album by these guys yet. This is my very first one. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Now, a good friend of mine posted a song on Facebook, Judy Blue Eyes, I believe, and that's like, I gotta go get the record. So I went downtown, and I just happened to find that this was just in the new somebody sold it or something section. So I'm lucky I found it right off. It's the cover's kind of toast, but the record's in really good shape. It is a gatefold. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Judy Blue Eyes, my first one of those. And here we have The Shadows of the Night featuring Follow, Alone, and Shake. That looks kind of strange. You got four heads floating around in space. Like some type of a sci-fi show or something. I guess they did a lot of that. I think they were copying, I don't want to say copying the Beatles. But the Beatles, and a lot of the groups had similar covers back then. They'd have them all on the cover with just their heads or something. Anyways, and here we have a UK copy of T-Rex. Now I notice when you get some of these UK copies or stuff from back then, they're really thin, almost paper type covers. This one's a little bit thicker, but yeah, I don't know why they made them that way. Were they trying to get away with cheap stuff? That's a good picture, though. They almost look like they're wearing white makeup, but I think those are just two really white dudes. Anyway, that's a T-Rex. And here we have Time of the Zombies featuring Time of the Season. She's Not There. Tell Her No. Gatefold. Again, the cover's kind of not in the best condition, but the records are fine. The Zombies. Time of the Zombies, and there we go with the floating heads photography again. Oh boy. Headless. That's just their heads. And lastly, the last record I have, I was about ready to pick my nose. Anyway, the last record I have, some of you know I really enjoy oddball type records, and this one is very oddball. And I am not a devil worshiper, just letting you know. I don't worship the devil. Anyway, here you go. Anton Zandor LaVey. The Devil Speaks and Plays. Anyways, and there's the back. And this has mostly his organ playing in it. I haven't played this yet, but I looked some of it up on YouTube. And he did a very good job on the organ. He sounded like the Phantom of the Opera or something. But some of these do have somebody singing with them, and they just sound terrible. And down here is the whole satanic 19-20 minute ritual, which I probably better not play because I already have enough demons in my life. Anyway, there, Anton LaVey. What's that look like? Just on a black label with the scary thingy on one side and black with pitchforks on the other. Morty, they just ran and hit his head on the edge of the little fold-out table I have here. I have some books. Now, I do collect typewriters. I've shown some in my previous videos. I haven't shown any in these yet because I'm going with the little phonograph thing right now. But this is a good book to pick up. The Typewriter Revolution by Richard Polt. A Typist Companion for the 21st Century. Now, this has all kinds of history, photos of old typewriters from the first ones all the way up until, I would say, they stopped making them. In the 90s, maybe. Well, I don't know if you'd count the computer typewriters, but I guess you could as a different category. I have a few of these that are in here. I have several of these pictures. This is a very interesting book. It goes through the whole history and how these are kind of making a little comeback, kind of like record albums. People are having type-ins around in coffee shops, or there's people, if you live in a big city, I haven't seen any here yet, but you'll see somebody sitting with a typewriter and they will write you a poem on the typewriter for either a few dollars or just for free. Sometimes they're free, I've seen. But yeah, the Typewriter Revolution, very interesting book. And there's also a documentary, I've seen it on Amazon, called The Typewriter Revolution, I believe, the same name. And it's a documentary if you want to look that up and check it out on Amazon. I just purchased it so I can just watch it anytime I want. The digital version on Amazon. Get in too much into that. Don't want to bore you too much. And along the similar lines of that is, except this is different. It's just this is a different history. Sound design, classic audio and hi-fi design by David Atwood. And this also goes through history of phonographs and radios, starting from the very start almost. Mostly, I would say, the electric type phonographs and records. They don't really have the crank ones in here. I guess that's probably considered a whole different category. It has some cool pictures and things in it. There's a look at that lady's little record player. I wouldn't mind finding one of those. As if I don't already have enough stuff anyway. But as Robert Z said, we can't get enough stuff, or something along those lines. Some more pictures. Just showing you some of the pictures that are in here. The fancy ones, the old radios. It goes through a lot of the history, even speakers and stuff like that. But that's an interesting book that I found a couple years ago in like the bargain section of the bookstore. At least I think that's where I got it. I can't recall, actually. I hope somebody didn't send me this and I forgot who sent it. Or my mom might have got it for me. I can't remember. But that's an interesting book. And two more books. Here's one. It's more of it looks like a little magazine. Wild Bill Hickok, The Law in Hays City. The most complete and authoritative account ever written of Wild Bill Hickok's activities as the bogus sheriff of Hays City, including documents never before published, with a map of old Hays City and 28 photographs. And that's Hays City, Kansas. And this was put out by a Reverend Blaine Berkey. Interesting to have something by a reverend when I'm showing the satanic record at the same time. But it has some neat pictures and history in it. And let's see. I should have marked it off. There was a... See if I can find it. Hang on, people. Hold the phone. As Doug would say, hold the phone. There we go. Jim Curry, who has been billed as Hays City's worst desperado, owned a restaurant on the corner of Main and Fort Streets. Its corner door can be seen open just slightly above and to the right of the center of this photo, which was taken September 6th, 1873, when David Roberts shot and killed Peter Welsh and George H. Summer, both soldiers, in front of Cy Goddard's saloon. and those two unfortunate guys didn't make it. It sort of reminds me of that Clint Eastwood movie, The Outlaw Josie Wales, when he comes out and guns down some soldiers outside of a little market store or something. That part where he says, "Are you gonna pull those pistols or whistle Dixie, you dirty bastards?" Or something along those lines. But yeah, that's that. And I don't know if you remember the last video. I told you Charles Bukowski, and I have one of his poetry books here, that in his poetry books there wasn't so much of the boozing and womanizing and stuff, that a lot of his poems were surrounding his cats and home life after he was with his last wife, I believe, and this is probably towards the end of his life and his writing career. He sort of turned to writing poetry, and I got one marked here. If you'll put up with me for some more reading. Raining, raining, raining. Has been for days. I have 9 cats. The rain drives them crazy, and they drive me crazy. Last night at 3:30, one of them began scratching to get out. Rain and all, he wanted out. I put him out, went back to sleep. Then at 4 a.m., the female cat who sleeps in the bathroom began mewing. I sat with her for 5 minutes to calm her down, then went back to bed. At 5 a.m., one of the male cats began scratching. He had gotten into the closet, found a bag of cat food, knocked it over, and was trying to claw it open. I picked him up and put him outside. I went back to bed and couldn't sleep. At 8 a.m., I opened a window and a door so some cats could get back in and some could get out. I slept until 10 a.m. when I got up and fed all 9 cats. It was time to get ready for the racetrack, my daily routine. I stood at the window and watched the rain still coming down. It was 20 miles to the track via the freeway and through a dangerous area for whites. Maybe blacks too. I felt sleep deprived, so I decided to go back to bed. I did, went right to sleep, and I dreamt. I dreamt I was at the racetrack. I was at the betting window calling my numbers. It was raining hard. I was at the racetrack. I kept betting and I think I cashed some tickets, but I never saw a horse or a jockey or a horse race. Then I awakened. It was still raining. My wife, who is an insomniac, was sleeping peacefully next to me, and there were 4 cats sleeping on the bed and 1 on the floor. We were all sleep deprived. I looked at the clock, 12:30. Too late to make the track. I turned on my right side, looked out the window. It was still raining, heartlessly, hopefully, meanly, grossly, continually, beautifully. Rain, 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 rain. Soon I was asleep again, and the world continued to do very well without me. That's one of his poetry that has his cats. 9 cats. I can barely handle this guy. Oh, he's sleeping. Morty sleeps. He won't let me sleep, but he sleeps. There, kitty. every morning. He wakes me up almost right about 9, between 9 and 9:30. He's laying right here on my chest with his face right here in mine. I can hear him. Usually he's awake, but sometimes he's asleep and he's kind of snoring. But he does that when he wants to be fed. I can always tell when he wants to be fed because I'll get up, start walking around or whatever, and he'll be running around at my feet, almost knocking me down, and he'll run ahead of me a little bit, look back, run ahead of me a little bit, look back, and he's running towards his food dish. That's how I know he wants to be fed. And he's sleeping. Morty! There he is. Okay, lastly, we'll get to the phonograph, which you think it looks like a old brownie camera. And I have to be careful of picking this up by the handle because the one snap is missing on this side. But this is actually a phonograph called a camera phone because it looks like a camera. And you open it up and all the contents are inside the little case. There's the crank, the turntable again, and this is the horn part which goes on there, and this also has the reproducer just like on the other ones. And I'm not quite sure if this one is original to this camera phone, but this is the one that came with it. As you can tell, it looks quite aged, and it says the Exposition, London, world's first reproducer, London, Paris, and I can't tell, Berlin. And I do believe this one is probably 1940s, somewhere in there. And that's that, and I'll have that up here in a minute. So thanks for coming, joining in again, calling over and out, and Weirdos Unite. I'm back again just for a second. I forgot to show you this Three Stooges DVD that I picked up at Walmart. It has 8 DVDs of all their shorts that they made for Columbia Pictures. Now that's a with the world the way it is, all the sadness and stuff going on, and the stooge that we see on the news every day. Wouldn't it be nice? I thought it'd be nice. Go watch the real Stooges, who are very funny. Pick you up some Stooges. The only thing that's not on here is their movies, but all the shorts are here, over 8 discs. Now that's a lot of funny to watch. Weirdos Unite.